All right, welcome. My name is Ron Deering, and this is the Deering Dream Team Saturday morning weekly training. And I'm so glad to see all of you here. And be sure to get this out. We always record them, and they are in the under the files section. I add them to a document in there, so you can go back and look at the previous ones and check them out and see what training you may have missed or may not have missed, or what fun we had or what fun we didn't have. Um, so someone told me a long time ago, and this gentleman is a multi-millionaire and has developed big teams and been very successful in network marketing. And he said that the most successful network marketing teams out there are the ones that develop communities, the ones that develop that family kind of environment and a safe environment, and the ones that love on everybody on the team, because how many of you here, if making $1,000 a month would change your financial status right now, would help your financial, all of us, right? And there are some people on our team. Oh, there are some people on our team that are just, excuse me, just a second. All they want to do is make an extra $500, maybe $1,000, and that's all they want to do. And they love the product. They want to be customers, and we need to love on them just as much as we do the people that want to make 10,000 a month or 100,000 a month, right? Because they're just as important, because they're a part of our team, whether they're a customer, whether they're someone that just has a small goal of 500 to 1,000, just to add on, so every year maybe they can take 2 vacations instead of 1, whatever it might be. Okay, so my goal is to build a huge community, not necessarily, yes, a great team, but I want to build a community where everybody feels safe, they feel comfortable coming and asking questions, no matter what their goal is, no matter what their desires are in building the business. And I think so far we're doing that. One of the things, and Carlos and I were talking about this yesterday, one of the things that I'm seeing, and I want to kind of address this morning up front, is I think a lot of people are getting overwhelmed with social media. Okay. We've got groups after groups after groups that we're part of and doing things and everything. And we kind of feel like, oh, I got to get in there and I got to comment and I got to like and I got to, share, and I've got to do all these things. And all of that, don't get me wrong. All of that stuff is very, very important. Excuse me. But when it comes down to it, the only thing that is going to grow your business are money producing, profit producing activities. And going through either the Deering, and I try to keep the Dream Team page down to a minimum as far as what we're posting, but going through the Power Team or the Vision Team and all those, and just trying to see everything that's new there and comment on everything and like everything. Don't let that get away from you. Okay. What I do in the mornings, a lot of times I'll set my alarm or timer, and I say, okay, you know what? If I've been doing this, if I've been going more than 20 minutes with comments and likes and all that stuff and sharing, I've gone too long. I now need to stop. I can come back to it again during the day and so forth. But, and it's nice because we're supporting the community. We're doing all those things, but it doesn't make any of us any profit in our business. It doesn't grow our business. It's great for exposures and things like that. But, we got to remember that we want to build our business. So, and I've talked to a couple of people over the last week that it's like, wow, there's, I'm trying to, comment on things. I'm trying to like things. There's just so much going on. Well, when there was 10 of us in the community, it wasn't bad. But now there's, thousands of us in the community, and it's going on all the time. So just be aware that it's something that we want to do. We want to be a participant. We want to, make sure we support people and everything, but try not to get overwhelmed by it. Remember, it's not a requirement. It doesn't build your business. It's just great support and so forth. Okay, does everybody kind of understand that? Anybody have a question about that at all? Carlos, you or Samantha, Karen, you have anybody have 2 cents, 3 cents worth that they
Yeah,
want to
no, absolutely, Ron. So thank you, and that's a good point, Ron, because I found myself just spending a lot of time in the group, and there's a lot of valuable information in the group, especially like your group and then the Vision team and then Aaron's group, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. But I found myself kind of too consumed with it. I'm like, wait a second, this is not making me any money, right? This is not. I got to get into just reaching out to people, okay, as much as I possibly can, because really, that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So, kind of hold ourselves accountable, and it's fine to get into the group, but keep it like at 15, 20 minutes. Get in there, just check it out real quick, comment on a couple of things, like a couple of things. And you know what? Feel free to post stuff in there as well. You find some good information, especially the Deering team, Deering Dream team. Post stuff in there, information that you feel that something that has helped you. Any little success that you have had, post it in there, right? Because that's going to inspire me, it's going to inspire Ron, it's going to inspire Karen and Samantha, everybody else, and especially the people that are brand new to this, right? So you want to celebrate your successes and get involved a little, in the group, but you want to go back to, again, hold yourself accountable. Don't spend more than 15, 20 minutes in there, and go back to reaching out to people as much as you can. Remember, just look at it as like, okay, is this gonna get me to my goal, right? Is this gonna get me to my goal? Is this, am I contacting 25 people a day? And if I, maybe if I do 50 people a day or 75 or 100, spend more time reaching out to people as much as you can and develop that relationship. Okay, develop that relationship. And when you do that, you're gonna find, when you take an interest in someone else, when you take a genuine interest in someone else, you're gonna find that the guard is down. Right, the guard is down a little bit, and people appreciate you taking an interest in them. So spend time doing that, developing that relationship, and people are more likely, able to trust you. Ever since I've gone from that switch, because before, and there's nothing wrong with Aaron's script, right? They're totally fine, but I found that they really weren't working for me, right? Because I'm kind of more of a relationship kind of guy, right? To me, relationships are very important, and it's not to say that with Aaron's or not, because I know his relationships are very important with him as well. But I found that when I was just kind of approaching people just like, hey, are you interested, yes or no, kind of thing, almost all of them were no, or no response. Whereas now, as if I take the time and develop that relationship a little bit, it's going to take a little bit more time, right? But now it's a more productive relationship, okay? And I'm coming across as more genuine, and it's really helped me out, and I'm getting more responses. Yeah, Carlos, I'll take a look at your website. So I'm totally now just purely lead with the product. That is it. That is it, and that's what I focus on. I focus on helping out I've got a product here that can benefit the customer. I don't look at it as a business opportunity. Like, hey, I want to share something with you, okay? And hopefully this is something that you can take a look at my store, and if it's something that you want to, you have any questions on, I'm here for you. Let me know. Reach out to me. Don't be afraid to give out your phone number to the customer once you've developed that relationship. Hey, listen, this is my cell phone. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. Yeah. So exactly, Ron. I totally agree. You want to spend it on income producing activities and developing relationships. That's going to help you get there. That's going to help build that trust, right? The old thing, people buy from those they know, like, and trust. And as you start to build that relationship, they're going to start to know you, like you, and then trust you. And then that's when they're like, okay, well, yeah, I'll take a look at what you got to, what you got to offer. So yeah, pointing that out.
If we think about it like our kids, right? When we're raising our children and bringing them up, we let them have, when I was a kid, we let them have so much time in front of the TV, and that was their fun time. But then they had time that they either had chores or they had to go out and make sure they did their homework and things like that. It's really kind of no different. Yeah, because if at the end of the day, your hands look like this and you can't kind of get them out of that, that means that you've been on this too much, right? You've been in front of that, maybe you've been on Facebook a little bit too much. That was a joke. Okay. So, Karen, you raised your hand. You had a comment there.
Yes, it is true what you guys are saying. And the training can get overwhelming sometimes. A lot of the groups, a lot of files and things like that. When I first started, I did use a lot of the scripts. And like Carlos said, I didn't get much of a response on scripts. So I turned into engaging with people more than just sending them the script. We all have to also realize, okay, Aaron Parker is the man. He had already followers. He had people under his line that worked with him before that know him. Sometimes we're reaching out to people we don't know and we're just sending them a script. So we have to build that relationship. Sometimes he probably already sent this scripts out to people who already know him, and he's so credible to them that, it's a little bit easier. We have to build our foundation. We have to build our followers first, and we have to engage with people. I keep it, my whole thing was learn as you go, right? And then Aaron said, earn as you grow, right? And I love it because I keep it to about 5 hours minimum of videos, trainings like today's and the ones we have in our week, and just watching Aaron's videos and just looking into other people's videos about 5 hours a week. Because if not, I would waste all my time watching videos and being on post and training and not doing producing activities like you guys are mentioning. So keep it to a minimum. If you watched a training today, okay, now focus on what that training said and rock and roll. But if you're seeing that the scripts are not giving you the best results, it's probably because they're not. You have to build these credible foundation. And if they don't know you and you're sending them a script, they're gonna be like, I don't know this person, But if you're like, hi, how are you? How you doing? I see that we're friends. I don't know how we connected or why did you, what brought you to connect with me? Because, you get friends requests all the time. I immediately send them a message. Hey, what brought you to connect with me? And then they tell me, and sometimes it's HQ solo ads, and sometimes it's boyfriends trying to get me to be their wife. But, you got to air them out. But, for the most part, you connect with them right away when they request you, or join groups, because when you join groups, people are just going to request you. Out of nowhere, you'll get all these requests, and then you got to filter them out a little bit. But engage with these people first. Don't send a script out. And then at the end, you could probably mention, hey, have you ever heard of hemp CBD oil? Or if they're in online marketing already, have you ever heard of this and this opportunity that I have? And kind of bring it out to them. And sometimes they'll shoot their business before you shoot yours, but stay focused. You just got to engage and then keep the training to something that's a minimum, because when you're getting someone saying something here, somebody saying something here, you're like, which one should I do? Take a little bit of this one and take a little bit of this one and make it your own. That's what we should all do. Just make it our own, and whatever works for us. That's how I see it. That's what we have to do.
Thank you, Karen.
I just want to really add. Sorry, Ron. Can I just add something?
Sure.
I just think it's really important, guys. Totally value what Karen and what Carlos is saying, but it's really important that we find what works for us. I'm finding since using those scripts, even though I'm doing big numbers, that's the thing that's got me the best results. I've spent years on Facebook trying to build relationships and trying to do it the way that Carlos and Karen are saying, and that's great because that's working for them. But I started trying to do other things like do Facebook Lives, and I'm not saying not to do those things, but you got to follow what's working. Find somebody that you can duplicate that's going to get you results. There's two big things. It's safety in numbers and law of averages. So safety in numbers means obviously, the more you do, the better result you're going to get, and that's what Aaron's talking about on those scripts, and that's kind of like what Carlos alluded to as well. Like do 25, 50, 100 a day, whatever approach you're using, but just don't just get rid of the scripts because they're working for me. I'll tell you, I've been in the industry for a while. I built a big business in Melaleuca, 450 people. But for me, using the product approach in that business, I was getting customers. I wasn't getting people who were wanting to build the business. And I found it really hard to transition people from being customers to wanting to build the business. Whereas leading with the business approach with this, I'm actually getting a lot of people that are kind of putting their hands up saying they want to do something business-wise. So I'm not saying don't lead with the products. I'm not saying don't lead with the business, but you need to find what's working for you and don't discredit what someone else is doing. So I just want to put that out there, Ron.
Hey, David, thank you. And you, if I didn't know better, I'd say you read my mind, because exactly what Carlos and, you know, I built this business from scratch, you know, 2 months ago, using that script and approaching people with the product and Are You Open? Now, going back to what Karen said, is because I've got 5,000 friends and a couple of thousand followers. I've been out there for a long time. A lot of people know me. So I had most of the people that came back to me said, man, thank you so much for thinking of me, Ron. You know, I'm doing something right now, but, you know, and I've recruited 40 people like that. So, but what you need to do is you need, and I'm changing how I'm doing things right now because I love the product so much. And I think the product is so powerful. But exactly what David said is you need, and you don't want to spend months trying to figure out what works. You know, you want to take some samples, and this is what we do. You know, what I did all of my life in scientific research is you'd take some samples and make adjustments. So you're always taking steps forward and saying, okay, I've sent out 25 a day for the last 3 or 4 days. I've got no results. So let's make an adjustment on that. And here's an old saying that really makes sense. And if you don't do this, you're going to find it's going to be hard for you. What you can track, you can change. What you can track, you can modify. So if you're not tracking what you're doing, even as simple as, hey, I did 25, I got 0 results. I got 5 people who responded to me. I got, you know, 1 pre-enroll. If you're not tracking that stuff, you have no way of knowing how to change things and how to modify things. But everybody is different in how you approach, and everybody you approach is different. If you're starting out from scratch and you've got, I talked to someone yesterday and they said, well, I don't know how I'm going to do this on Facebook. I only have 100 friends. You know what I told them? Get more friends. Get more friends. And then his comment to me was, well, how do I do that? And I said, well, we want to try to make Facebook different than life. And it really isn't. It really isn't. If I want to go meet new people as a person, you know, I go out to social events, correct? You know, I might meet new people at my church. I might, you know, find social events in my local events in my town. If I want to meet new people, I can tell you one thing for sure. Sitting in my house, in my office, I meet nobody. Okay? But if I want to go out and meet people, I have got to go out either in the old school where I grew up. You went out to, you know, events and things like that, and you met new people. Facebook is no different. It's just like Karen said. You join groups. You go out there and you start getting involved with groups. Now, I will tell you, no matter how passionate you are about your product, if you join a group and you start spamming your link all over that group, you're not going to get many friends, okay? But you go out there and you create a relationship and you start getting friends. When I first joined Facebook, obviously I didn't have 5,000 friends. Now, because I went out and started putting myself out there, and I went out and started getting involved with groups and just putting, you know, I'm in a group and Lily puts out a comment that says, hey, you know, I'm having a challenge with headaches. Does anybody know what's going on? And I come back and say, yeah, that's, you know, here's something you might try. Drink a little bit more water or whatever. Don't even push about CBD oil. And if she drinks a little bit more water and that makes her feel better, she'll come back and say, man, that is great, Ron. Can I connect you? That was great. That was a great idea. Simple stuff. Okay. So now I've got all these friends and all these people, but it takes a while to do that. And you've got to build those relationships. You've got to get out and do that. But regardless of what you're doing, you need to figure out what it is that works for you. We all are different in how we approach people. We all are different in the people that we're approaching. Okay. For me, those scripts worked really great in the beginning. I got a lot of good response. You know, most of you that are on the team, that's how we connected, but we were friends first, you know. Now, there's some people like Carlos where I said, please just go look at it, would you? You know, and check this out. But you know that relationship you have with those people, and don't be afraid to do that. You know, we talk all the time about building those relationships. That's all fine and dandy. But having a bunch of relationships that you don't use or that you don't communicate with doesn't do you any good. Yeah, okay, I feel like I know this person because we've talked about family and, you know, and probably in the last week, Carlos and I have got to know each other more than we have in the last 2 years we've been together. But you start to learn more and more about those people. Now that relationship, the reason behind that relationship, it's like your family, right? You don't have any, my sister joined the business this past week. I didn't go to her and, hey, sis, how's things going and everything. I called her up and said, look, I got something, you're joining. You got to get involved with this, right? So you develop this. Now you can talk to people like you would talk to people. You know, you can message them like you would talk to them, like you would really deal with people. And you get to that point where it's no longer oh, please, would you do this? You know, come on, we've known each other for, 6 months now, if you don't trust me, that's fine. But if you do, take a look at this. It's worth your while. It's something that's going to change your life. I can share with you all these testimonies. Get pre-enrolled. Look at what the system does. Look at what these products do, and then let's talk. I'm not trying to, serve you up a pile of gunk. We're trying to, and you develop that relationship so you can talk to people like that, because people respect that. If you listen to the leaders like Eric Worre and Ray Higdon and Robert Hollis and these people, they don't mince words. They're not mean to people, but they talk to them just like we talk to our friends and family. But somewhere along the line, when we get on Facebook, all of a sudden that goes by the wayside and we forget that we're building relationships and we're communicating with people. So just keep that in mind. And David and Karen and Carlos are exactly right. You've got to find out what works for you. Okay. The other thing is that you need to make sure that if you're looking at the numbers and you're tracking what's going on, there are a couple of things that you want to track. Obviously, you want to track your activity. You want to be doing something activity-wise every single day. If you're not, you don't have a business and you're not building a business. So I'm here to tell you, if you're not reaching out to at least one person a day, you don't have a business and you're not building a business. You need to reach out and talk to somebody, at least one person a day. Even if it's, on the phone or you're out running around to the grocery store and you run into somebody and you get talking. Doesn't matter what it is, but if you're not talking about your business at least once a day, it's not you. If you ever run into someone that owns a brick and mortar business, they're always, yeah, I was at the job all day long, I was doing this, I was doing that. It always comes up in conversation. Don't make it hard, okay? But the other thing is that numbers can be deceptive. You can have a ton of pre-enrollees, and Aaron gave a great example on this video the other day that he was sharing, where he only had like 140 or 150 pre-enrolls. But out of that 150 pre-enrolls, he upgraded. He got over 60 paid affiliates. So that's the difference. That's what you're looking for, is quality. Anybody can go out there and we can get paid ads, we can do solo ads, we can do traffic and all those things, and we can get those numbers way up there. But if I've got 500 pre-enrollees and 2 paid affiliates, that's a clue. Okay, that's a clue. We should be looking at that, going, okay, maybe my pre-enrollees aren't as quality as I thought. They're just people that are opting in and that's doing it because they've got to do it. So you want a good amount of numbers, because it is a numbers game. But you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing so that your numbers are quality numbers. So you want to have that relationship. You want to build those relationships. So when someone opts in, they're just not an opt-in. They're an opt-in with some potential. Because then, I've got probably 238 or something pre-enrollees. But I've got over 40 paid affiliates. So I look at that and go, okay, some of those I know came from solo ads, some of those, but a majority of them came from Facebook and me, having a relationship with those people and so forth. That's what you're looking for. So don't let the numbers get away from you. Don't let the numbers be so important that you're just racking up numbers and they're not quality numbers. Make sure that you're racking up numbers and they're quality. Now you become the real winner, right? Now you've got 200 pre-enrollees and 60 paid affiliates. Now we're talking, right?
Can I just say on the other side of that though, Ron, because I'm kind of the opposite. I haven't got any solo ads or anything, but I have high numbers. Like I have about 120 pre-enrollees and only about 7 or 8 affiliates. But you can't get too hung up on that, because you can only do what you can do, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So I think just keep putting them in, and those that turn to gold will turn to gold. I'd love to have a ratio like Carlos that I heard him say once that he had like 14% of his pre-enrollees became affiliates. I'd love to be able to do that, but I'm not just putting rubbish in, but you still, I don't know, the only thing you can control is your pre-enrollees, if you know what I mean. You can't control who actually becomes an affiliate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I agree to a certain extent, David. What I want to caution people is that always along the way track so that you can adjust. Okay, we always want to get pre-enrollees in. There's no question about you always want to get pre-enrollees in. But if you're tracking things, and there's anything that you can do along the way to increase those odds, maybe different follow-up, maybe approaching people differently when they do pre-enroll and things like that. The whole goal is to keep moving forward every single day, tracking what you're doing and making those little tweaks, making those little adjustments. Okay. One of the things, I'm a pilot and I fly. I used to fly a lot. I don't fly as much at all anymore. But when I was flying, one of the first things we learned is that you can't just set your heading and fly, because of wind and all kinds of outside things. Just like David said, there's all kinds of things you can't control. So all the while you're flying, and this was back in the old days when our navigation was a lot less complex than it is now, but you were taking measurements along the way. You were taking readings along the way so that you were adjusting. Otherwise, you might think you're headed down to, Boise from my house and end up in New Zealand. But, you need to do that. Okay. So we always want to move forward. We always want to track what we're doing and make those little adjustments. Don't be like the old squirrel where every time someone, presents some new technique, you're out there following it around. But be sensitive to the fact that maybe you need to tweak something a little bit if you're not having the success that you want to have. It's good. It's a good policy. It's a good procedure. It's a good thing to do. Okay. All right. Any questions up to this point? I didn't mean to ramble quite so long.
Yeah. Yeah, no questions, Ron, but I want to kind of shift gears here a little bit and talk about like different strategies in terms of trying to get customers. And here's something that I'm going to be implementing in my business like this week. And it's because of the product, right? And the first thing you want to do is obviously have a passion for the product, right? You got to make sure that you have that, and you're using it. So I have tremendous passion for this product, as do all of you. But one of the things that I'm going to be doing this week is I'm going to start building a local team. There is so much power in building a local team, whether it's through Meetup, okay, things like that. But here's my strategy. Here's what I'm going to be doing. Chiropractors, okay, acupuncturists, doctors of Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, napropaths, things like that. That's like an ideal market for this product, an ideal market, especially folks that have like a little, like their own little office, things like that, because they're always looking at alternative methods of healing. Okay. And most of them, if not all of them, are big believers in CBD oil. Okay. Now, if we go, I'm going to start visiting them. I'm going to order some brochures in the back office. Okay. With my personal information on there, so that I can stop by and here's an introduction, and I'm going to start talking to a chiropractor. And again, this is stuff that I have a passion for, right? So I've had a passion for natural healing, but I want to start building a local team, okay? And that doesn't mean you're going to have, it's up to you if you want to do it this way, but it doesn't mean you're going to have people over your house. It's up to you. But when you build a local team and you build a big team locally, so obviously you're gonna have that relationship there, right? Which is key, right? You're gonna have that relationship, but now you're a leader and you're an authority and people are following you. Okay. Now, if you can get chiropractors on board, because usually when someone like an acupuncturist, a doctor of Eastern medicine, a napropath, a chiropractor, they usually not only do they have their services, right, that they offer, but they also sell product, right? And if they can become a distributor of this product, are they going to be aggressively pursuing it? Probably not, because they're so busy working their practice. However, right, if they become a distributor, right? And then they've got people there at their office front coming through like, hey, well, as their customers are coming through, it's like free advertising, right? Their customers are coming through and they become a distributor, and then you're going to benefit from that volume that is being purchased through that chiropractor, you know? And then if all of a sudden, right? And then if all of a sudden the chiropractor says, wow, you know, I'm making, you know, $1,000 a month with this thing. You know, maybe I should take a closer look at it, right? And then, see, because what happens is when a customer gets on the product, you know, because most people do not want to start a business. You know, they would love additional income, right? Who doesn't want additional income, right? Who wouldn't like an additional $500 or $1,000 a month? But most people don't want to start a business. They just don't. But when you get them started on a product, the reason I lead with the product approach, okay, and that's not to say that I don't pursue it from the business side. It all depends on, you know, my conversation with that person. If I see that, you know, this person is more business minded, then I'll take a look at it. I'll approach it from the business. But for the most part, my goal is to get the customer on the product so that they can try it and be a believer of it. Okay. And, you know, Ray Higdon always says, you know what? There are just some people that are not going to be business builders, and that's okay. But if you've got a customer that's consistently buying your product, okay, I mean, that is power in and of itself. And guess what that person's going to do? That person goes, you know what? You know, my sister, my brother, you know what? Here's my friend, my business partner. Guess what? I've been on this CBD oil, and this is what it's done for me. And you just develop something that's going to go viral, right? This product is amazing. So guess what they do? They tell everybody about it. And then your customer base grows, okay? That's actually, so David mentioned earlier, Melaleuca, all right? One of the powers of Melaleuca is that usually when you get on their product, and they sell a ton of stuff, you know, they got some health, but they sell everything from laundry. They're like an Amway kind of. But when people get on their product, you know, most of them are not looking to start a business, but usually when you go Melaleuca, you don't leave. You continuously buy from them. Well, guess what's going to happen? Same thing here, right? Wouldn't you love to have, you know, 10 customers just 10 customers continuously buying from you every single month? Okay, you're going to benefit from that. So you know, yeah, you would love them to build a business, but even if they become customers, that's fine. So I'm going to start targeting local offices here in the Chicago area. There's a ton here in the Chicago area. I'm going to target them. Okay, I'm going to create a meetup group. All right, so that I can start talking to people and people start following me, asking me about CBD oil. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a flyer. All right, I'm going to create a flyer with my website at the bottom. Okay, and you know how you go to a supermarket, your local supermarket, like a Whole Foods or whatever. And I don't think Whole Foods has this, but a lot of other supermarkets do, where they got like a cork board where you can post jobs or whatever. I'm going to post it there. All right, that's free advertising. Okay, that is free advertising, and people come through there, right? And like, wow, yeah, I want to take a look at that. Okay, I didn't think I would ever do this, you know, but I'm really seriously considering getting some HempWorks decals, and it's not going to say HempWorks, you know, if you want quality, you know, because if not, they're just going to go to HempWorks and Google it, right? What I'm going to do is, you know, if you want quality CBD oil, right, go to my website here. Or call me or something like that. Get an 800, but something so that, you know, if I'm driving, you know, I spend a lot of time driving, I'm going to do that. So those are just ideas on what you can do. But if you can somehow build a local team, okay, it's going to be amazing, and your business is going to boom. There's a lot of people that need this product. There's a lot of people that need this product for a lot of reasons. You know, epilepsy, autism. You know, I know families with autism. Their kids have epileptic attacks. The only thing, and this is from the moms and the dads that have children that suffer with this, or the moms and the dads that work in that field, the only thing that helps children control that epileptic attack is CBD oil. The only thing. There's nothing else. They get on all this medication, nothing helps. CBD oil. And again, this is from the mouth of the people that work in that field. And what is it? What is the statistic now for folks with autism? I think it's like 1 in 49 people. I mean, it's a horrible statistic, you know. So, and that it continues to get worse as time goes on. Okay, so those are just ideas on what you can do. But if you can somehow build a local team, that is going to be very, very powerful. Okay, but it starts with you having passion for the product. When people see that you've got passion for it, that's where it begins. When people see that you've got passion for the product, Like, wow, you know, I really like this. As a matter of fact, someone reached out to me today. Okay. She's a friend of a friend, and she actually moved to Florida quite a few years. She goes, Carlos, I'm a big believer in CBD oil. You know, she messaged me, you know, send me your information. I'm very interested. You know, now she's looking at it from the customer side. All right, she's looking from and that's totally fine. Like I said, it's okay to have customers continuously buying our product, right? Because then they're gonna become walking billboards, because you know what, they're gonna tell a friend, and then tell a friend, hey, you know what, this is what it's done for me. You know, I got my kid on it. This is what it's done for my kid. My niece has done that, whatever the case may be. So build a local team. I am going to create a meetup group today for my thing locally here as well. Okay. And it grows, right? You know, the small groups, they always start with a person of one, right? It starts with a person of one. But then before you know it, if you do it consistently, what are you going to have in 30 days? What are you going to have in 30 days if you do something consistently? Right? You don't see the results right away, but you look back, you're like, wow, look at it, in 30 days, look what I've developed. In 3 months, look what has come across. In 6 months, in a year. But it's what you do every single day. Again, income producing activities. Those are income producing activities. There's so much power in building a local team there in your community. So much power in that. And I just gave you some ideas on what you're going to do, because I'm going to be doing that. Okay, so I hope this helps you guys out.
Man, Carlos, that's powerful. And, you know, in the old days, that's how we always did it. You know, we didn't have internet. We just would start out one person at a time and start building a local team. And I'm, you know, we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, but it's something that I know for a fact that if you get a local team going, how would it be if you had a local team of 50 or 60 people and Robert Hollis agreed to come out and do a meeting for you? How powerful would that be? You know, Aaron Parker, Josh and Jen, you know, as your team gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Credibility and everything on that stuff is amazing. And we used to do that all the time. The last business I built, a big organization, we built so big here in this little small resort town locally, even though we had people all over the country, we built so big here locally that the owners of the company and 2 of the top millionaire leaders came out and did put on meetings for us. So the benefit in that is you get to work with people face to face. You really develop that community and that family even more, you know, and then you add them into this, right? You add them into the online, because most of the people you're going to meet are going to be online also. So now they become a part of the online business and see how big this really is and how enormous it is. And Carlos is exactly right. This is one of those things that one of the last businesses I had my greatest success in was a travel company. And we never led with the business, very, very seldom. I shouldn't say never. We must always led with the product. Why? People are passionate about travel, right? And what are people passionate about besides travel? Good health, getting rid of the pain, living a better life, sleeping through the night, you know? Our dogs are passionate about not itching all day long, you know? I mean, it's so this product line that we have, and you guys, when we find out what they're going to announce in October at the convention, the people that build now are going to be able to take advantage of it. The people that are waiting to do anything until then, I'm going to wait until they announce the new stuff. Then it's really, you know, you're going to be so far behind the 8 ball. For those of you who get out now and get people passionate about what small amount, 17 products we have now. And here's something I'll tell you too, is that don't forget, these are really, you know, we kind of don't talk too much about them, but these are amazing products here. These things are amazing. One of my kids is FaceTiming me.
Hey, Ron.
You know, so don't forget that the sprays are amazing too. James, you were going to say something.
Oh, I just wanted to also share with Carlos. It's amazing how great minds think alike, and it must be confirmation, as he was mentioning, building up that offline marketing. Meredith and I, we're actually in pursuit of looking at doing like doggy daycares, approaching local businesses that way, and then also the Humane Society within our local area too. So just, as we're taking down notes, just kind of keep our furry friends in mind too.
And that's a big market. I used to be vice president of the board of directors here for our Humane Society, and I can tell you, they love that stuff, James. They love that stuff. We've got now that you brought that up, we've got a number of pet resort places around the area that are always, just like Carlos said, they have their service, but on the side they've got a whole, shop where they sell collars and all this other stuff, treats and everything else. Put those bags of Scooby treats in there, man, you got it made.
Yeah, you know what, James, thank you for that, because I didn't even think about the dog side of things. So, because I got 4 little Shih Tzus right here that I take, every 6 weeks or so to get trimmed, right? And the area where I live at, it's very gentrified, very yuppie-ish, and they love their dogs here. I mean, they spend so much money on their dogs, and there's so many pet shop, kind of things there, like a doggy daycare and stuff like that. So, boom, you just gave me another idea. I am going to be. I'm like, hey, well, by the way, I think I forget her name. I think her name is Anita. Hey, Anita, guess what? How about the egg? And she's got and she's all about, like, all her product. Usually when you go to these kind of areas and they got that kind of product like that, they're all about high quality, organic, sustainable, all that kind of stuff. And you look at that, and how about adding a top quality CBD oil, top quality, biscuits as well, So you just gave me another idea, man. I'm gonna hit that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. So awesome. Thank you, Jay.
And don't forget, we have a wholesale button in the back office. Okay, so when you're talking to the customers, especially these customers, if you're talking to them on the premise that this is something you can add to your shop, let them know that, hey, you can buy this wholesale and you can run it as a business. Buy it wholesale, mark it up, just like you would anything else.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Linda. Lily?
I was just gonna say, I don't know if y'all heard me that when you talk about the dogs, I was thinking already about because I have 2 friends that are veterinarians here, and they sell, like Carlos said, the high-end products. So he's fixing to get hit up, and we live in a local, part of a rural community. So I'd already got printers, flyers being printed, like Carlos said, because we have big pegboards in front of the grocery stores in some places. So that's where it's going. So yeah, I'm like James. I think we're all on the same wave there.
Go ahead, Lily.
Okay, my question is, if you guys can sort of just run a little bit of or touch base on the side of the little pets, a little bit more information about what it's doing or what's there for them. I guess I'm a little bit lacking a little bit more information on that area.
I'm sorry, which area, Lily?
On the pets, on the dogs.
Well, we have 2 products
Right.
for the dogs.
What they do.
The treats, and we have the oil.
Right.
And it's basically designed. It's the pure CBD oil and everything, just like the human side of it.
Okay.
Be careful on the CBD oil, though, not to mistake to take it, because it is bacon flavored. For us,
I heard about that.
But it's the dogs especially, and I think cats also, they have that same endocannabinoid, whatever it is, system in them that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So the cannabis and the cannabinoids or whatever they are, they work on the pets just like they work on us.
Right.
What I'm seeing the biggest thing is with calmness in the dogs, allergies, just general things that you might find. I've heard a couple of people, and I'm going to post a website page for you guys to look at that someone else in the company did that's just got a ton of pet testimonies. Kind of
Yay.
an idea what that is. I'll put that in the group, the team group.
Thank you.
But it's amazing what we're seeing. Deborah had a great example with her golden retriever, was having problems with hips and so forth, couldn't get up and down the stairs, and now she runs up and down the stairs like a new puppy. We had someone else that posted, they have St. Bernard. The bigger dogs, we have giant breeds, and the bigger dogs have propensity to have hip dysplasia and things like that. They grow too fast and so forth. This person had a puppy St. Bernard and an older one that was having a really hard time getting around, was suffering with hip issues and everything else. As soon as he got to CBD, and within days, the dog is out there playing with the puppy and running around and having a ball. So, you know, it's hard sometimes not to think of this as like just miracle drugs, or, you know, it's almost too good to be true. But when you think about where it comes from and what it is, and here's the other thing I would encourage you to do. Go to your hempworks.com site, go to documents, go to where it says resources, I believe, or reviews maybe, because you'll get testimonies there. There's testimonies at the bottom, and then go through the FAQs at the bottom. If you go all the way down to the bottom, there's a link on FAQs. Because you would be surprised. We were talking about this yesterday when Carlos and I were having a short meeting, and one of the things, I had someone approach me and say, hey, just so you know, we've got a really good CBD oil, and ours is about $10 a bottle cheaper than yours. You might want to check it out. And of course I said, absolutely, I'll check it out. So I went to their site, and sure enough, their 500 milligram bottle of drops was $59.95 instead of $69.95 like ours. So I started reading about what it was. And what it is it's an isolate. And when you understand what an isolate is, by definition, the way they process the isolate, they isolate just the CBD out of the hemp plant. And because of the process they use to isolate it, they introduce contaminants that make the potency and the quality of that product a lot less. We don't do that, okay? We have a full spectrum oil. And in fact, in our discussion yesterday, we heard that after a lot of research on the internet, there's only one other place that you can get a full spectrum, high quality, pure CBD oil like we have. And it was $100, and it was like a syringe, and it was only 10 milligrams, not 50 milligrams. So when you understand that the quality and the process and everything that we have in our HempWorks oil is basically clinical grade that they use in testing, that the doctors use and the physicians use, and so forth. This is not your supermarket version. We have the best of the best, one of the purest out there, if not the purest out there. And because it's in Kentucky, and because Jen and Josh and that can control it, they can get there and see everything that's going on and make it sure. Every batch is tested. There's documentation on all of that. You can see the gasometric results from it, all the microbiology that's involved with it, all the chemistry. I'm a math and physics guy, so that stuff eludes me. But the reality is that they have taken great pride to make sure that we not only have the best of the best, but we continue to put out batches of the best of the best. Okay, so anytime you hear somebody that says oh yeah, I've tried that, didn't do anything for me, I would almost guarantee if you can get some in their hands, they'll change. Everybody I've talked to that said that now is a firm believer and is a customer. So, Leah, I hope that answers your question. Any other questions?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You nailed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know, something that happened to me this week, guys, and I was telling Ron about it. So this guy who happens to be a VP of some kind of tech company out in California, he posted a picture on Facebook of a beautiful little dog. Looked almost like a Maltese. And, you know, sad story, you know, his dog was just diagnosed with cancer. Okay. So I messaged him privately, you know, and I was very kind, you know, and I said, well, you know what, please forgive me for intruding, but I just wanted to share this with you. And, you know, I've been studying health for a long time, and, you know, I myself have 4 Shih Tzus, you know, 4 dogs, you know, big dog lover. And I told him, listen, have you ever considered CBD oil? And what I did was I researched some articles of canines, dogs that have gone on CBD oil to treat their cancer. Okay. And so we connected really well, and he really thanked me for that. And guess what? His wife is a doctor in Chinese medicine. You know, so it's like, okay, so I sent them my website, and then I'm trying, you know, I'm just kind of, you know, playing it lightly, but again, that's a lead right there, you know, so they're going to get their dogs on CBD, because I said, you know what, you know, I said, please forgive me if I'm coming across too bold, you know, but I said, you know, I hope you're not going to give your dog chemo, right? You know, if you look at the origins of chemo, the research is out there. Chemo comes from mustard gas. It comes from World War I. Okay, chemo kills the entire people. People don't die from cancer. People die from chemo. You know, and I hope you would consider something more natural. You know, and all this information I'm telling you, it's on the internet. You can find it. You know, and so he came back to me, he goes, no, we wouldn't even consider chemo. You know, for a dog. You know. So they're going there, and hopefully it turns into a lead. And if it doesn't, you know, I'll follow up with them, but I'll follow up with the dog's name is Cookie. You know, I'm like, how's Cookie doing? You know, that kind of. So I'll follow up with them in a couple of weeks, see how things are going. But now we've developed that relationship. Guess what? There's a relationship there now, right? I'm not trying to pitch him the business. I took it from like, hey, here's a product that can help your, you know, little Cookie. You know, and I know what it's like to have a member of the family like that, you know, a fur baby, as I call it, right? You have a little fur baby at home, and you know, and you don't want to lose someone like that, right? Because it's their family basically. So I developed a relationship, and guess what? We're developing that trust as well. I put my phone number in, and I go, listen, if you have any questions or your wife has any questions, here's my personal cell phone number. Feel free to call me anytime. Right. So look out for posts like that and reach out to people, you know, especially with their dogs. You know, when it comes to having like I'm about to approach someone that actually went to high school but graduated the year before me. She just posted a picture of her daughter, and they're looking for they're trying to find a match for bone marrow transplant. Okay, so she's got leukemia. So I'm approaching it lightly, right? Because you got to be real careful, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm approaching it lightly, but I haven't approached it, but I am, and I'm going to send her the article that I posted earlier this week of a young 14-year-old teenager here in America who was diagnosed and went through 36 months of aggressive chemo and radiation. Finally, the doctors, you know, her oncologist and, you know, her hematologist said, you know what, there's nothing else we can do for you. So they recommended her to hospice care, and they got on CBD oil. And I wasn't our CBD oil, but she got on CBD oil, right? And she was cured miraculously a few months later. You know, so I'm going to send her that article. Just, you know, she opened to take a look at this. And actually, I'm not even going to approach her for my product. I'm going to say, listen, would you consider CBD? Because I don't want to sound like, hey, I want to sell you something, right? Would you consider CBD? Here's an article for you to read. And then, you know, maybe she's already looked at it. Maybe she hasn't, right? And maybe, you know, and I'm only going to send it once, and that's it. I'm like, hey, forgive me for intruding. You know, I don't mean to, you know, I hope your daughter, you know, finds a bone marrow transplant, you know, that kind of stuff. But now I'm going to approach it from that angle, right? Hey, you know, here's something for you to consider if you haven't already. And if she reaches out, fine. If not, that's okay. I'll just, you know, continue to pray for her, you know, so, yeah. So just an idea.
Well, you know, Carlos, and I thank you because, you know, those articles, anytime you get those things, please post them in the group. I've left the posting in the group open. You know, if we get some spammers, we'll just delete them and that. But post them in the group. Tony Walker posted a little short video, I think yesterday. If he didn't, I will. But he sent it to me, I know. And it's just a little short video that talks about CBD oil and how many people, give some percentages and things of how many people that are getting off of their meds and going on CBD oil and having so much success and feeling better than they have in their entire life. You know, so anytime we can get some reinforcement, and there's tons of it out there. So if you come across an article like that or something, please share it with the group, share it on the team group, and put it out there, because just like Carlos said, now you can go back, you know, and I think what I'll do is, as we put them in there, we'll put a document together that's got a link to them all, so you don't have to search. So you can go, boom, oh yeah, here's this one, here's that one. You know, that way, if you're talking to somebody just like he was doing, that's what you do. You just say, hey, you know, you don't want to throw up on them about your product, but giving them some value. That's the whole thing of, you know, attraction marketing in my mind in a whole together different arena. Because there's attraction marketing that you're building value with your business and teaching people how to build their business and everything else. So it's a whole different avenue when you're building that value up, helping people's personal life. You know, I mean, it's so much more powerful. If you were that person that introduced CBD oil to that family of that 14-year-old girl, can you imagine the value that you would hold in their lives? And that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because of the result, man. You're doing it because of the chills it gives you when you read that stuff and you help those people. We just have a business and a personal growth, education going along with that. But the power in coming at it with this stuff is amazing. It's simply just amazing. And so anytime you guys get that, feel free, please put them in the group so everybody can benefit from them and everybody can share from them. Now, we've been talking a lot about this today, and we've hit the hour mark in that, but I didn't want to, if anybody had a question about their back office, because it's kind of how we started this, was the orientation, and we haven't gone through any of that today, and we don't need to if anybody doesn't have a question. But if you've got a quick question on maybe getting stuck finding something in the back office, and before we do that, I want to talk about something really quick, because it's important for you to let your pre-enrollees and your team know this, okay? And it seems to be a going question that I'm answering and a going question that I'm hearing. Okay? The difference between when you look at your team, okay, so I'm a pre-enrollee and I'm getting the emails every week and every day, however often. I wasn't blessed enough to get any of those originally because I just upgraded before I ever got an email, but you're getting these emails saying, hey, so-and-so's joined underneath you, your team's growing, your team's growing, your team's growing. And somebody finally says, okay, I'm going to upgrade. And they upgrade, and they don't really understand what that means when they upgrade. We talk to them about, you want to upgrade before Thursday because those people underneath you are going to compress and they're going to go above you, and you're going to lose those and so forth. But they don't really lose any of the pre-enrollees. The pre-enrollees just stay where they are, and they stay there. But a lot of people think that when you're telling them this and you're creating that sense of urgency and fear of loss and so forth, that these people that have upgraded underneath them are their people, that they belong to them somehow, like they were personals and so forth, and they're going to get paid on them right off the bat. And why aren't I getting a check? I upgraded and so forth. So be sure, so that you keep yourself away from that frustration, you explain to them about, that they belong on your team as far as volume in the binary sense, in the residual income in the future and so forth. But there's somebody else's personal, and somebody else is going to has gotten the fast start bonus on them, has gotten paid on them, and will get paid on those and so forth. Teach them that they need to look at their contact manager to see those people that they put in, either pre-enrollee or upgrades, that belong to them on their unilevel, on their enroller team, so that they understand you're not going to get paid on someone else's work. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a, hey, you sit back and we're going to build your team for you and you get to get paid on all this. What we're telling you is that, yes, because of the way the system is, we're going to help you build that binary and residual income. You still have to build your own team. You still have to bring in personals. You still get paid on those that you personally bring in. You don't get paid and they are not yours, and you don't lose them and so forth. So you just need to make sure that they understand exactly how things work. You don't need to be, a rocket scientist expert on the binary plan and all of that stuff, because some people who have never been involved in network marketing, it just goes way over their head and it blows them away, and I understand that. But they need to understand that you're getting a benefit from it even though you didn't bring them in. Now, you don't get all the benefit from it, because that person that did all the work and brought them in is going to get the majority of the benefit on that. But you do get some benefit on it because of the way the system is and the way that the system works in putting people in. But it'll keep you away from those people that think that this is a get-rich-quick thing and I'm going to sit back and you're going to build my business for you. It doesn't work that way. I've gotten to the point where over the years that I ask people if they're serious about building their business. And I give them a scenario. Would you have come in if there was nobody in your business and I wasn't working and Carlos wasn't working and James and Lily and Karen and Samantha and Miguel and all these people weren't working and putting people underneath you? Would you come in because you saw the value in the product, you saw the value in the company and the comp plan? Would you come in and build it if you were the first person in? And if they say, no, I'm getting in it because of all the overflow, that I make sure they understand that. Don't depend on that. They're going to be disappointed. You're going to be, you need to make sure that you've come into this business with the idea that I'm on the top. It's my business. I'm the one that's going to control it. I'm the one that's going to build it. Okay. And they need to understand that. All right. Any questions about the back office? And I didn't mean to get on my soapbox there, but that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. We've got so many, we've got so many people that are builders, James, go ahead.
Oh, not a question, but more so a comment. I sent an instant message, I believe, to Carlos. I believe everybody could see it. But I said something heavy just hit my door.
Oh, I saw that.
In the meeting. So a little celebration here. And let me just kind of flip my screen down a little bit so you can kind of see my little surprise here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Hold on.
We always like opening videos. Those are always good.
Yeah.
Yay!
So got my sprays here, so really excited. So it's Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. Well, and James, it's like you've all heard the term redheaded stepchild. It's kind of like the redheaded stepchild because we've got these amazing sprays, and this is how the company started. And they really are. I'll tell you, I get up in the morning and I'll take a couple of squirts of the Boost. And when you get to be my age, the brain is a necessity, If any of you know about alkaline, keeping your body alkaline, and Carlos and I have talked about this many, many times. That is, the more alkaline you can keep your body, the less prone you are to developing cancer. That's just the way our bodies are. Well, that's all this shield is. This shield is about making your body alkaline. And it tastes good, I don't know. I've been with other companies that have sprays and have gels and things you squirt. And I know they're good quality because nobody's going to put out bad quality, but they taste terrible. They just are nasty. These things, I get up in the morning and just go through them. And the sleep, James, you are going to be amazed at the sleep. Take 4 or 5 squirts of that before you go to bed at night. 2 things will happen. One is you will most likely sleep through the night, and you will have some dreams that you haven't had in a long time. And I don't mean those kind. Those who are laughing and chuckling at me, I'm just,
Oh, absolutely, Ron. I'll make sure I'm not doing it during the day. More so.
Yeah, don't do it and drive.
Hey, Ron, real quick. So Gladys asked a very good question. If you can discuss the latest of what's going on with distribution into Canada.
Yeah. The latest update I have is that, nothing is going to be shipped until August as it stands right now anyways. But I believe that they're getting very close, if not right on the cusp of being able to order in Canada. That was the last update I had. We just got to keep waiting for, and this includes Canada and all of Europe pretty much. Okay. South Africa or Ghana and Nigeria are already open and can get. The countries that, I'll tell you, the 2 countries that I'm waiting to get opened up are Australia and New Zealand, because I've typically in the past built some really good teams in those countries because the people
That's the place to be, Ron, you and me both.
Yeah. But I look at guys, if you haven't guessed where David's from, I look at people like David who see the vision now in what we have, building this team. And when it opens up, I was talking to somebody from Canada the other day, and they're like, well, I want to wait till the CBD. And I said, you're going to be so far behind the curve then it's going to be amazing for them, not you. Because if you build this huge team based on the sprays and the promise of CBD oil coming there, and this is not just us. That's what's nice about it. They can't say, oh, well, there's other CBD. Nobody's getting it CBD oil in. But you've got a huge team. What's going to happen overnight when they say, okay, everybody can order now, David, everybody in New Zealand can order CBD oil. Well, if he's got a team of a couple of hundred people, boom, guess what's going to happen? What do you think they're going to order if it's their first order? Onesies or the 12-pack? Okay. So don't shy away from these countries that we can't ship to right now, because if you get a big team in those countries, and then all of it, when it opens up, boy, you are going to just explode and quadruple overnight, because everybody's going to want to get the executive packs. Everybody's going to want to order the 12 pack because they haven't had them. They want to try every product. They're going to go crazy. So Gladys, to answer your question, it's very shortly. They've got pretty much everything in place. The only thing I can tell you is what I've heard from James and Jenna is that it's very, very, very close. And the plan is, even if you open now, even though they can order now, when it opens up for ordering in July, the first shipments won't be until August as it stands anyway. So, Linda?
Yeah, I wanted to add something to that because Shaquille had to drop off, but he's in Canada. I don't know if anybody has seen the document that Josh put out for Canada, that because they told me to wait till Monday to try to get him on his auto ship for next month. But there's a document that's out there now that says they have to go to a doctor and pay $150 membership to get this prescription before they can still get it shipped to them. Have y'all seen that document?
Yeah, I did. I saw it, and I didn't read it all the way through because I thought that was the way it was. Now I thought we were going to be able to bypass that, so I wasn't sure how that was going to be.
Didn't sound like it to me, and so the guy at the support didn't even know about it, so I sent him the document.
Okay.
So I think Josh put it out on Facebook.
Hey, Ron, this is Samantha.
Hey.
Hey, Ashley, are you on the line?
Ashley is here.
She's Canadian, and she knows all about it. We want to let her, tell us. Ashley, are you able to talk? Maybe she's not there.
Yeah, she's
I think she was driving, so.
Yeah.
Which we all see her driving and living at the same time. I told her, no driving and living at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think Ashley got home already. She got home. I think she made it to her backyard or something like that. But maybe
okay.
Stepped away.
I don't see her.
We'll get some information. I'll reach out and see if I can get some clarification on all that. The unfortunate part is we can't control what Canadian laws require, and just so you know, it's not unique to HempWorks and My Daily Choice. This is something that they're doing. So, any other questions? I hope this has been helpful. I will get the recording up as soon as possible. Again, if you've got any articles or videos and things about testimonials about people having success with having some amazing things happen to them with CBD oil, get them up on our dream team. And this is the beginning of the week. We've got a little over a week left in July. I don't know about you, but right now I'm 400 points away from 10K again, and about 8,000 points. No, not. I think it's about 5,000 points away from 25K for this month. I'm still trying for a goal of 25K affiliate this month. I'm not, just because we're a week and a half away from the end of the month. Let's not let the pedal get, and those of you, I will tell you, June, July, and August are typically the hardest months of the year to build, because everybody's going on vacation. They've all got family things going on and everything else. And I'm excited that our team is still growing like crazy. We're closing. I think we're closing in on 150 because everybody's not in the group on the team already. So my guess is by next month we'll cross over 200 people on the dream team. And we've just really started in May, really started in June. But so that's pretty phenomenal. And it's all because of you guys. I am truly blessed. I thank God every day I wake up. So you guys have a blessed rest of your Saturday and a blessed Sunday with family and friends. Don't let the business overwhelm you so much that you forget about family, please. I know we've got to stay focused on what we're doing, but we do this so that we can have the freedom and we can have a better life because of our families. So I know there's a season of unbalance that we go through, and a season where we have to do a little bit more. You know, my son-in-law, my daughter came over with the grandkids, and my wife just texted me and said, we just headed out to Denny's for breakfast. Join us if you can. You know, in the old days, I'd say, oh yeah, who cares? I'm going to go, you know, spend time with the family and do those things. We make those sacrifices now because we want to be able to do much bigger things in the future. Don't let it all go by the wayside, though. You know, you still need to love on your family and you know, thank God for those people that are close to you and are supporting you right now. So God bless you all. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, leaders, Karen and Samantha and James and Meredith and Lily and everybody here. Rebecca, let's say congratulations. Rebecca signed up a new affiliate while we were on the call.
Congrats, Rebecca.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
All right.
God bless everybody.
Bless you, everybody.
As soon as I can.
Bye now.